Well, we've been following some breaking news this morning. A man's quick stop at 7-Eleven leads to a suspect reportedly taking his minivan and starting a chase with state troopers.
That suspect is now in custody. Our Chris Gilmore is on the scene near Reno and Rockwell, where troopers ran the car off into a ditch. Chris, good morning.
Yeah, some tense moments there for officers, troopers, and the driver involved as well. We heard speeds of up to 100 miles an hour were used during this chase. We have some video of the suspect behind all this on scene here in the median with troopers and officers as they took him into custody. Now, we also had a chance to speak with a relative of someone directly involved in all this. The man who owns the minivan that we saw in the middle of the ditch, his grandma was here on scene to make sure everything was okay. And here's what she had to say about how her grandson got himself in this situation.
He was on his way to work and he just looked around. There was nobody there, so he just ran in to get him a drink and he was paying for it. And somebody come out of someplace and jumped in it and took off.
Again, several things to celebrate, though, still. One, that no one is injured and that the suspect is in custody. We'll have more information on that individual as this story develops right here alongside Reno near MacArthur. Chris Gilmore, News 9.
All right, thanks, Chris. A quick stop for coffee on the way to work turned into a high-speed chase across the metro and ended with a minivan in a ditch. News 9's Chris Gilmore was on the scene right when the suspect was arrested, and he has the latest for us.
Well, that chase all started here at the 7-Eleven behind me at 16th and Rockwell. Before we get into that, though, we do have footage of the end of the chase and the suspect in custody on his knees in front of troopers and officers at the end of all this. Now, while we were investigating, we had a chance to speak to some of the relatives of the victim involved. We found his grandmother at the scene of the crash. We asked her how her grandson got involved in all this.
He was on his way to work and he just looked around. There was nobody there, so he just ran in to get him a drink and he was paying for it. And somebody come out of someplace and jumped in it and took off.
The good news again is that the suspect is in custody and that there were no injuries to report, especially since investigators tell us speeds reached up to 100 miles an hour. We'll have more information as this investigation continues. Reporting on the scene on the story from Oklahoma City, Chris Gilmore, News 9.
All right, Chris, thanks.